Heaven and earth are not like humans. The Tao does not act like a human. They don't expect to be thanked for making life, so they view it without expectation. Heaven and earth are like a pair of bellows. They are empty, and yet they can never be exhausted. Work them, and they produce more and more. There's too much talking. It's really better to stay quiet. There are too many laws, when all you have to do is hold on to the center. So, in terms of heaven and earth being paired into one, right? It says twice here, it says, heaven and earth are not like humans. The Tao does not act like a human. And then later on it says, heaven and earth are like a pair of bellows. So it's continuously pairing together heaven and earth, which I take to mean that these two things are meant to be together and that they are then constituting the Tao. So, in this way, they are not like humans because of how humans act. However, humans do come from both of these things. So when we have this concept of a little astronaut driving around a spacecraft, so our ego or our consciousness driving around our earth body, I don't take that to really be accurate. The way that this appears to me and the way that I tend to view it is that the Tao is not like a human. So we are a stream that is coming from this inexhaustible source. And so, but this is animating in a way that is very much just this particular incarnation or this particular life. I don't mean incarnation to then come with the baggage of reincarnation. That's not what I meant. I meant this being. Now, Alan Watts said that you don't come into this world, you come out of it. And he said you can think of the earth the same way you think of an apple tree. An apple tree, apples. That's what it does. It produces apples. And the earth, he said, peoples. That's what it does. It creates people. And he then went on to expand, and we can talk about this more at another time, how by people, he doesn't just mean humans. Every being on the earth views itself as a person. But we'll set that aside for now. But just think in terms of the earth peoples. So you don't come into the earth, you come out of the earth. Everything that is you in your physical makeup, it sprouts out of the earth. And what's paired with the earth? Heaven. And so that heavenly essence that you feel that you have, that spark of consciousness or that ego, and we can talk about ego another time and if it's real. But let's just say the spark of consciousness, that being the heaven portion of it. These things are arising together, and it's not just unique to you. Those two things paired together constitute the Tao in the way in which we're experiencing it in this life. And so you arise mutually from the heaven and from the earth, with your consciousness and your body, but they arise as one, not as the consciousness driving around and navigating the life in the world with this sort of physical vehicle that it has procured. So something to think about there when you feel very detached or very much like I'm not a part of the world or the universe. You absolutely are. You are a mutual arising of the consciousness and the body, both of which are coming from the Tao, which are then devised by the earth element and the heaven element, but they are paired. They one doesn't get extricated from the other and go anywhere. They come together and they go together. The other thing that stands out to me here is there's too much talking. It's really better to stay quiet. And I won't speak additionally to the part about the laws, because I think that the laws line at the end is another representation of what the verse is saying about too much talking and staying quiet, because we can think about too much talking as having too many laws, and about staying quiet as holding to the center. And so if we put those things together, and I will just say it's probably easier to talk about it just in terms of too much talking. See how this becomes very funny very quickly, and staying quiet. So there's too much talking. It's really better to stay quiet. I see this as we've said before when discussing previous verses. The problem with talking is that you're talking in language. Same thing with thinking. You are thinking in words and language, and there is an inaccuracy in a word versus an actual experience. And you can use words to try to describe or symbolize or stand for an experience, but it is not the actual experience. And so here I believe what's being said is stop thinking and talking and just experience. I almost said focus on experiencing, but that's a foolish cyclical nature of trying to devise experiencing out of focusing on something. Part of the experiencing is you need to release the focus. Don't focus on it. It's not how you get there. In any way. So the silence that comes from, when we think of silencing our inner chatter or silencing our outer chatter, I don't think we really understand what the true benefit there is. The true benefit there is to stop referencing your experiences with the clumsiness of words and language, which can't really get to the sheer essence, that fundamental truth of the experience. You just need to be experiencing the experience. And therefore, you can do things for the sake of doing them, releasing them of these expectations. These expectations then are existing in that world of language and symbols and words. So by releasing all this chatter and being willing to experience the experience, devoid of having to languagize it, there is an automating factor that you will then be letting go of expectations, because those expectations aren't within the experience. Those expectations come outside of the experience in the world of thinking and talking about outcomes that you would like to see from something that is happening, or that's something that you plan to do. There is no need or even an opportunity for expectations or planning what you are going to do if you are just engulfed in the experience.